Okay, in this video I'll be explaining my Masum FizzBuzz program game. This version will ask the user to enter a custom starting and ending number, validate the input, and then print the correct FizzBuzz sequence for the range. So first we need to start including the eWrite library, which provides the functions write integer, write strings, and then write text for reading the user input and printing and output. We have the data section, which goes from lines 4 through line 9. Here we declare the prompt, the user displaying the error, and define the FizzBuzz and the FizzBuzz strings. We also declare two variables to store the start and end numbers. Then we have the validate input section, where we ask the user for the start and end numbers and store them in start num and end num. Though goes from line 16 to 27. Then we have the validating input, where we validate the input and both numbers must be positive and the end must be greater than the start. If not, we go to the invalid label and then ask again. This goes from lines 31 to 37. The invalid section. So if the input is invalid, we show an error message and then reprint the prompt until the user enters valid numbers. Then we have the FizzBuzz logic. For example, in line 40 is where we initialize EZX with the start number, and this will be our loop counter. Then we have line CMP ECX end number, where we begin the loop and compare ECX to the enter number, and if it's greater, we exit. So we have from line 66 through to 63. I'm sorry, from lines 46 through 51, we check if the number is divisible by 15, and if it is, that's FizzBuzz. Then from lines 53 to 56 is where we check for the divisibility by 3, and if it's true, it's Fizz. And then from lines 58 to 63 is where we check the divisibility by 5, and if it is, that's a buzz. So if none of the above, we must print the number itself, and then we increment that ECX and loop again. Now, for the FizzBuzz and Fizz and Buzz labels, which goes from lines 72 to 91, is where each of the sections prints the appropriate string and moves on the next number. We have the invalid section here, that's from 93 through 91, which is where we print the error message. And then from the exit of the program, we have the finish range, and then the program clearly exits. Now let's do the output. For example, let's say the start number is 10, and then the ending number is 20. So since 10, it's divisible by 5 but not by 3, it will print Fuzz. Since 11, it's not divisible by neither of them, it prints 11. 12 is divisible by 3 but not by 5, so it prints Fizz. 13 and 14 are neither divisible by 3 or 5, so it prints 13 and 14. 15 is divisible by both, so it prints FizzBuzz. 16 and 17 are also not divisible by either, so it prints the numbers 16 and 17. 18 is divisible by 3 but not by 5, so it prints Fizz. 19 is not divisible by any of those, so it prints 19. And then 20 is divisible by 5 but not by 3, so it prints Fuzz. So that will be the full output for the range 10 to 20 following all the FizzBuzz rules. So in conclusion, the program reads the user's inputs, checks that it's valid, and loops through each number in the range. It checks if each number is divisible by 3, 5, or both, and it brings the correct result. So this demonstrates loops, conditional strings, outputs, and input validation all in MASM code.